Think of the time in your life when you were the most anxious and hesitant to go. That moment felt as if there was a massive obstacle in front of you, and if you took even a singular step, you would lose everything, didn't it? Leaving that job, abandoning that comfortable but soulless routine, revealing your true potential. All were flames you hesitated to approach. Your mind whispered to you, stop, you will lose. Stay safe, stay where you are. But what if I told you that those flames you shy away from are actually an illusion? What if I told you that those flames are not there to harm you, but only to melt away the chains of captivity you're wearing? Today, I will tell a shocking story that comes from the depths of history but is relived again and again in the modern world. This is the story of a ruler, a fire, and a young man who walked into that fire without fear. By the time this story ends, your perspective on the difficulties in your life will change. Perhaps you will realize that the fire you are running from is actually the gate to the rose garden you seek. If you are ready, let's walk into those flames. Beyond time, in a dark age, lived a ruler who drew his power from fear. This ruler had a single goal: to make people forget the free will and truth inside them. Because he knew that a person who finds their own truth would not blindly obey external authority. One day, the ruler erected a massive statue in the town square. This statue was a cold symbol made of stone and iron, and beside it, he lit a majestic fire reaching up to the sky. The flames were so high that their heat could be felt from afar. The ruler addressed the people. The choice is yours. Either you bow to this statue, to my rules, to my truths, and be safe, or you enter this fire and be destroyed. The people were terrified. Most of them turned towards the statue with the instinct of self-preservation. They left their own truths, their own souls, in front of that cold stone. Just for that momentary feeling of safety, they gave up their freedom. It was the turn of an elderly mother and her young son standing tall beside her. The mother was trembling. The heat of the fire was burning her face. Instinctively, she wanted to turn toward the statue to submit, because her maternal instinct said, I must protect my son. But at that moment, something happened that surprised everyone. The young man, holding his mother's arm, spoke without a trace of fear in his eyes. His voice carried not the excitement of a youth, but the calmness of a 1,000-year-old sage. Mother, do not be afraid. Walk into the fire. The mother was in shock. The young man continued, this fire looks terrifying from the outside. Your eyes tell you it is an end. But I see the truth, mother. It is not burning here. This is a gateway. This is a garden. The fire is just a veil. Untie the knot of fear in your eyes and come. The mother saw that deep truth and unshakable faith in her son's eyes. And at that moment, showing the greatest courage of her life, instead of bowing to the statue, she held hands with her son and walked with dignified steps into those massive flames. Everyone in the square held their breath. But a miracle happened inside the flames. The fire did not even touch them. On the contrary, they stood peacefully inside the fire, smiling and calling out to those outside. Hey, you outside, trembling in the shadow of that statue. You are the ones who are captive. We are free here. The place you think is safety is actually slavery. This fire you think is the end turns out to be a garden of reunion. Come, have courage, and transcend the illusion. When the people saw this sight, they were mesmerized. They saw that what they thought was destruction was actually real life. And the ruler's soldiers were no longer needed. People stopped turning to the statue and began to walk towards the fire, towards the truth, with enthusiasm of their own will. The ruler was dumbfounded. His greatest weapon, fear, had been taken from him. He turned to the fire in rage and shouted, "Stop them! Why do you not burn? Are you betraying your nature?" The fire replied to the ruler as if it were a living being. "I only do what I am commanded. I am a mirror. I cool those who have purity inside, and I burn those who have evil inside. My nature has not changed, but your perception has blinded you." And at the end of the story, that uncontrollable fire overflowed and engulfed the tyrant ruler and his order. The fire they lit became their own end. Their empire of fear was destroyed by their own hands. Now, let's freeze this mystical scene and take it into the metaphor mindset laboratory. This story is not just an ancient legend. This is the psychological map of the modern human. The ruler is your ego. It wants to keep control. It hates the unknown. The statue is social validation. What is the statue of the modern world? Appearing flawless, being solely focused on success, living according to what others say. The ego tells you, obey these statues. Sacrifice your authenticity. Put on your mask, or you will be ostracized. The fire in the story is your fear of transformation. Leaving your comfort zone looks dangerous like fire to you. If I quit my job, I will fail. If I speak the truth, I will be alone. If I chase my dreams, I will lose. Your mind tells you that this change is an end, an extinction. Fire is the symbol of the unknown. The young man is your awakened consciousness. It is that young, dynamic, brave part inside you that sees the truth. That part challenges logic. Take the risk. You can do it. Give up this fake life. The mother is your current state. She is attached to her habits, hesitant to change, but takes action when she trusts that young voice, her potential inside. Here is the greatest psychological secret. The thing you fear is not as terrible as you think. Most people live with the anxiety of what if. But when you walk into the fire, when you take action, you see that the fear is an illusion created in your mind. When you leave your job, life doesn't end. New doors open. When you say no, the world doesn't collapse. Your boundaries become clear. The inside of the fire is not what it looks like from the outside. The inside of the fire is where your potential awakens. The ruler, the ego, used the fire to scare others, but in the end, his own order ended with that fire. People who constantly try to control life, who try to plan everything, eventually get lost in the stress and pressure they created themselves. Resisting the flow consumes you. Entering the flow, the fire, sets you free. So, how do we carry this story into Monday morning? First, recognize your own statue. What is the statue you are bowing down to right now to stay safe? Are you continuing a career you don't love just for status? Are you holding on to relationships that don't nourish you just to avoid being alone? That statue is not protecting you. That statue is slowly freezing your soul. Second, listen to the voice of the young man. There is a voice inside you saying, walk. That brave voice saying, this life is not for me, I can do more. Your logic, the ruler, is trying to silence that voice. It says, don't be ridiculous. Don't disrupt your order. Today, trust that young voice, because that voice knows the nature of fire better than the ruler. Third, walk towards the fire. An old saying goes, the cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek. The fire you fear to enter holds the garden you seek. The comfort zone is safe, but no flowers grow there. If you want to grow, you must be willing to transform. Let your old identity, your fears, your excuses be left behind. My dear friend, today we witness the courage of a mother and her son walking into a fire pit. Perhaps right now you are standing on the edge of your own fire. The heat of the flames is burning your face. It feels very tempting to turn back and take shelter in that cold statue, to stay safe. But don't do it. That statue will never give you the peace of mind it promised. True peace is on the other side of the fire. The real you is waiting for you inside those flames. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and hold the hand of that brave youth inside you. And together, walk over the fear. This was just a beginning. We haven't yet talked about how we will be reborn from our ashes after passing through the fire, and what we will build in that garden. In the next step, we will tell how we will build a future from those transformed lands. If you feel the courage to walk into that fire inside you, join the Metaphor Mindset family. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and leave a comment below. What is the fire you are hesitant to enter in your life? Share this video with your loved ones waiting on the edge of their own fire. Remind them they are not alone. Do not be afraid to transform. To shine light, sometimes one must pass through that fire. Goodbye.